Hey everybody. Now that hunting season is winding down for most places, this is about the time to start to reflect on what's learned, what you've been doing, and what's needed to change for the next season. Everybody's gone through this and looked through what they wanted to do. They done their tried and true stuff over the season. They found some new things they wanted to try. And now's the time to see, hey, did that plan come together? Did it work? Did it not? So that's usually when this is about the time that I start putting all this together and evaluating over the month of January, unless I get a few nice warm days where I can actually get out there and start figuring out the plan for next year. So some of the first things I do is review of how the hunting season went. Did I see my target bucks? Did I see how many does did I see? Did I not see? What's my camera look like? Did the patterns change? That kind of thing. Something else I like to do is get out to the property and map over the tracks on my hunting app that I use and start seeing if I can follow if they deer are following the same winter patterns that they were, or if they not. I'll take that back to the house, and that's when I'll kind of review and go through that stuff. I'll pull all my cameras in. Like soon, I'm gonna pull all my cameras in, and with the way our property's set up, basically I will move all of the cams around to so that way next year or come springtime, I'll when I put them out, I have a strategy of how I put them out to make sure if the deer are following where I think they're going still, or if they're not. So these are some of the things I start looking to do at this point. Um, and then from there, I also get out some mineral sites. So deer are going to start losing their antlers in probably another few weeks. If not, I've heard of some places already that have already moved theirs, so lost theirs or starting to lose theirs, which is rather early, but and or at least I think it's rather early. And um, get an inventory of who've made it through. Like one of my target bucks, I know one of them's been put down because I had a video earlier about my buddy taking that gigantic 8 pointer that we have. I haven't seen my gigantic 10, so I'm thinking the neighbor took them only because of some things I found out in the woods, which we won't get into. Then but I did see one of my other target bucks. He made it through. So he was walking around the property way in the back. So he's made it through, which is great. But I usually like to get mineral sites out now, and that way the deer can start remineralizing and having what they need out there for the winter and whatnot. The other thing I like to start thinking about doing is during the hunting season, something I do is reflect on what we've done for habitat management and checking through things. So from there, I like to take that and figure out, okay, well, is this working what we're doing, or is this not working what we're doing? So one of my opening morning doe actually worked inside part of the areas that we did implement some TSI on, and we actually had 3 does and the big target buck come through. He just didn't turn my way, but one of the big does did, and she came down, and I had an 18-yard shot on her, and she expired about 40 yards away. So it's working for what we're implementing over there. So, which is to be expected. So let's going to keep moving it forward through there and going through that. So that's part of generally I like to evaluate how things are and how things are going. And I like to tell my clients to kind of do the same. Write down what's worked, write down what didn't work. And one of the other things I found is that in the fall, I had a 40-yard by 40-yard food plot. And the year before, I took a couple smaller deer does over there because we have so many does on our property, it's ridiculous. So we need to get rid of the doe. We need to limit what does are there. But what I noticed during this year is that my food plot never really grew. And upon looking at it and having one of my other buddies look at it too, it was discovered the deer are just mowing it down. And what I did and I tell my clients to do this too, and I did it around my area for the past few years, but apparently what was planted around the areas outside my property, outside the property we manage, is that they didn't plant what they normally would plant, and the deer were coming to the food plot and they just kept it low. So for the next year coming up, what I'm doing is I'm gonna, I'm expanding it. I'm expanding it probably to about a quarter of the field. I'll have the new implements for my tractor there, so that way I can till it all up, get rid of the grass, and start doing everything. I do everything naturally. I don't put chemicals down, so it sometimes takes a little longer, but it works for what I do. Um, and then from there, probably I'll start evaluating everything through the month of January, and after that, come towards the end of January into February, we sometimes get warmer days, and with those warmer days, I will get out there and seeing if I can cut down extra trees, cut down this, change this, and then towards the end of March, I will start frost seeding different areas, probably the food plot. I'll frost seed that, put in cover crops, a bunch of a mix from that I use, and it brings out and adds nitrogen and different elements to the soil, so that way the soil starts getting back what it needs. Um, so these are some of the things that I start looking to do over the winter, and yeah, I keep going back and forth because the light's coming through. So that's kind of like what I do. And if you've gotten this far through the video, then stay tuned for some announcements. We got some big announcements coming up in the next few weeks that we're bringing out to you guys, as well as stay along with more tips for during the winter and more tips for scouting and where deer can be on certain areas. If there's certain things that you guys want to see, let me know in the comments and I will get those in there for you. And we will start working on that stuff, as well as prep tips for what's coming up in the spring. A few things that you guys should start looking at. So thank you guys, and hope you guys are enjoying it, and hit that like and share it out. Talk to you guys later.